Are you an ambitious professional looking for that missing edge in your performance? Discover what elite professionals already know. Happiness isn't just a feeling, it's your most powerful competitive advantage. Join me on Tuesday, March 26th for an exclusive live webinar where I'll share the neuroscience behind why happiness drives exceptional business results, practical techniques to rewire your brain for enhanced focus and resilience, transformative mindset shifts that you can implement immediately. Imagine leading with unshakable confidence, inspiring your team, and performing at your peak, all while preventing burnout. Head over to Linktree/YourThoughtLife to register today and transform your leadership journey with the power of happiness. Your team and your future self will thank you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Your Thought Life podcast. I am your host, Michael Anderson. Today we're going to be talking about leaning in with your past. And as a form of an intro, if you will, I really want to take a deeper look at how incredible your past can be and how powerful it can be if you allow yourself to lean into it and allow it to fuel your future instead of stifling your future. Because many of us carry baggage from our experience. But what if I told you that your past isn't just something to overcome? It's got so much value, so many treasures that you can draw from it to increase your wisdom, to really move you into a place where you know certain things and why they don't work for you, and what you can do differently the next time you're faced with that set of circumstances. Is a tremendous learning instrument if we would just take the time to practice some steps that I'm going to lay out for you today. Don't see the past as this source of continuous struggle, but rather as a gold mine of assets that you can use to help not only yourself, but those that you love and those that you're doing relationship with, or life for that matter. Your past is not a life sentence. Too often, family, we see our past as something that defines us in a negative way. Maybe you've made some mistakes. Maybe you've made some bad choices. And I know the vast majority of us have had some degree of hardship, and we've battled with doubt. No one is going to escape that portfolio. It's just simply a part of being alive. But where we're asking for you to take on a different approach and a different mindset is not to view your past as a life sentence. We want to restructure that and begin to see this as a library of lessons that can propel you forward and allow you to do your next set of tasks, milestones, achievements differently with the backdrop of the information that you now have. When I was coming up, people said to me, the mark of a really, really good leader, whether that's in a personal setting, professional setting, family setting, whatever, was that they fail fast. And the beauty of that is you then get to know right out of the gates very quickly what you need to do to adjust, that the next time you move forward, you do so more intelligently. Lots of people on that first failure give up, throw in the towel. That's it. I'm going to encourage you to not ever do that again, starting today. Because science is on your side. Studies in cognitive psychology show that reframing past experiences can actually strengthen resilience and increase problem solving, and our ability to bounce back in the face of adversity and to see a way clear after we have defined what the situation is. It's a tremendous ability that none of us want to try to do life without, if in fact we have dreams, goals, and aspirations. Every challenge you face has given you a skill set, a unique perspective, and a greater degree of depth and understanding that now you can do whatever it is you desire to do more intelligently. A moment ago, we talked about reframing. We were asking you essentially not to see life as, or your past as a life sentence. We were asking that you not see failure as a defining moment. We're saying don't do that. As we talk a little bit more about this reframing, the stories we tell ourselves shape our future. If you look at your past as a series of failures, well, then you move forward in fear. If you've got fear as one of your backdrops, we know as an absolute fact that more often than not, fear is going to win because it knows what to bring back to your recollection. It knows which emotions to go and engage with to resurface that you remain in a safe place. It's the mind's responsibility to keep you safe. But if you see your past as a training ground, and when fear comes into this situation, you're going, no, 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 no. There's no need for us to be protective. This is normal. This is how this is supposed to go. I'm in a learning state. Well, in this model, you step into your future with confidence without the restraint of fear. When you get fear out of the equation, you're really open to do some really cool stuff. Things that a lot of people will never have an opportunity to do because they won't take this initial step. We're talking about reframing. We're talking about looking at failure differently today than we have in the past. You want to identify some of these key lessons. Take 5 minutes and write down, those things that keep coming back up. Every time you try to move forward, the past pops back up and reminds you of these 3 circumstances. I just want to let you know that you can have mastery over this. And it's very simple. Get yourself a journal. Take one topic at a time. Take one set of memories at a time and just begin to let everything about that thing, begin to write down everything that you've experienced, what it's saying, how it's making you feel, what the circumstances were. Get all of those down, and then we're going to nicely and neatly go through each one of those and look at it differently. We're going to look at it as if it's not a failure, but a training ground. And what can we learn from each of these 3 situations? This should provide for you an immediate relief and immediate release from your past because we're facing it head on. And we're also reframing at the same time and taking portions of it that can help us move forward, again, more intelligently. I want you to also recognize your growth. How do you do that? Think about how these experiences have shaped you into the person that you are. 2 parts to this. If you're not the person that you desire to be in these situations, these 3, have had something to do with that, keeping you stagnant, not allowing you to move forward, or introducing fear and a whole bunch of other low-level vibrations that don't allow you to move with some degree of flow through life and achieving your goals, then this set of drills that we just talked you through is going to, again, provide you release from that. If, in fact, you're able to then be on the other side of this, and you've seen these as a bit of training, but there was just maybe a little bit of something left on an emotional side, and you go through this, now you are certainly in a super duper set of circumstances that will allow you to see that growth can take place. And the more you adopt this mindset, this way of thinking, the more growth and opportunity you're going to be able to see in each of your preceding endeavors, where from start to finish, you don't get from A to B on the first pass. This is just a tremendous set of tools that you should have in your arsenal ready to go, because it won't be but a few days or weeks where something's going to come up and you'll be able to put these to work. I just love the idea. One of my coaches told me many years ago, Mike, you got to flip the script. Instead of saying, I went through something hard, try saying, I went through something that was incredibly valuable. Let me tell you why it was valuable. And now it forces you to look differently at that set of circumstances, aligning much more closely with the idea of it being a learning background, a learning backdrop, a learning endeavor, rather than something that's horrible or something that is stunting your growth, preventing you from moving forward, or you see it as a life sentence. Flip that script every time those thoughts, those emotions come up to try to stop you, where again, they're trying to keep you safe. Let them know you don't need that safety. You need to move forward. You can go ahead and feelings, emotions, thoughts, stand down. I got this. And you're going along for the ride with me. Pain is one of our greatest teachers. We go through life sort of in this bubble of let's try to avoid as much of that as possible. And again, if we are to take great strides, we have to know that there's going to be things that take place that make us feel very uncomfortable. And in fact, some of them may even introduce pain. But if we choose to learn from them, the research, again, is profound in that the post-traumatic growth shows that people who process their past in a constructive way often experience greater emotional strength, deeper relationship, and a stronger sense of purpose. Which of you would like to have on a day-to-day basis a greater emotional strength, deeper relationships, and a stronger sense of purpose? Would that not propel you forward? Would that not allow you to do some really cool things? Absolutely it would. This is a fantastic reason to make yourself a part of this new way of thinking. Moreover, it sets you up to own your story. The past no longer controls you or creates these voids where you can't move forward because there's that nagging thought. Back again. No, instead, just simply acknowledge it, own it, and decide that your role is to move forward on this journey called life. Find the silver lining. What strengths did you develop because of those experiences, because of that specific outcome? Does it have the underpinnings to make you more resilient? Did it introduce a differing level of empathy? How can we now be a wee bit more creative with this new knowledge? Use it to serve others. The challenge you've overcome, the things that you have faced, all of these come together to make you a uniquely qualified individual to help others that are going through similar struggles. When you take a step back and you really look at this whole situation, changing the narrative, reframing, not seeing it as a Debbie Downer, not seeing it as a failure, but looking at it from a positive set of constructs where it's a learning exercise and yielding the ability for me to move forward with a greater degree of clarity. And the faster with which I do this, the quicker I get to the end result. Now you're into a mode of operation on a day-to-day basis that sets you apart from the crowd, that breaks you free from cyclical patterns that have not served you. These are all things that we all need on a day-to-day basis. Remember, your past is not your greatest enemy, it's your greatest asset. The struggles, the setbacks, the challenges that you face, all of these have shaped you into the person that you are today. If you see some things that you want to change, look at those nagging memories differently, reframe them, find the positive components, and then move forward from a different perspective. The reframing of those experiences turns that pain into power. And using the lessons that you've learned, you can better serve others and create the future that you've always desired. You are in control of your destiny. And don't you forget that. I trust that this will be helpful for you. Thank you so much for joining me today for this episode, and do consider leaving us a rating and a review. Helps us to grow our audience. We're in over 170 countries now. Couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much for your support. Feel free to connect with us through our Linktree app. You can find that in the show notes. I want to remind you that you are enough, you can do it, and you are uniquely equipped to realize your goals. Until next time, keep leaning into your past.